Thanks for joining me for Another Cup. Our mindset as a basis for success. So, our mindset being the basis for everything that we see and hear and do is not a new concept, or it's not novel. It's true. But it's got a lot of different ways we can look at this. For example, in the main message, I talked a lot about how having a growth mindset, or just knowing what our mindset is and aligning it with what we want, is the foundation for our future, for our success. That if we have the correct mindset, it's much like a golf swing, where if you set up properly, most of the work is done. The good things will flow from that with less effort, where an incorrect setup will create all kinds of issues and problems that you have to then solve as you begin to work. And likewise, if we have the correct mindset, then a lot of the other hard things, the heavy lifting, the work that we have to go through, will be done. It's much like in engineering or technology, technical aspects of things. Asking the right question. There's a process called QDM, Quality Driven Management. The scientific method, for that matter, begins with asking the right question and stating a hypothesis that we want to prove. So your mindset from the start is the foundation to make everything else work the way that we want it to. And if we have a mindset of our own making, then we can create what we want. But if it's a mindset that we don't have control over, or maybe even one that we're working from that we don't realize isn't ours from the beginning, then it creates things for us to work against, or things that we have to deal with as we progress. And not only is this mindset a foundation, but think about it this way. It's not just kind of a slab or something solid for us to jump off from, but it can also become a framework to build from. Now, the right mindset becomes a solid framework for us to work with, to continue to expand outwardly from. But the wrong mindset, say a fixed mindset, can become a frame that we are stuck in, a cage, if you will, where our mindset can't see the great things in the future just because we're stuck where we are. Understanding and having self-awareness about the difference between where we are and where we want to be requires a bit of belief and imagination and, obviously, self-awareness. So, as we go through this, you can see where your mindset from the start is either a framework that you work from or a boundary keeping you in. It just depends on how you look at it and how much conscious control you take of this mindset. So when you're thinking through, what do I need to do to make a change? Or what do I need to do to be better at what I'm doing now? Inspect your mindset to begin with. One of the ways you can do this, by the way, and again, belief and self-awareness go hand in hand. It's very difficult to have a great growth mindset without having some self-awareness about that very thing. And self-awareness leads to greater belief and ability to create what we see. So as you see, it kind of works together. It kind of circles in on itself. And we just continue to do this process throughout our lives and throughout our work. But what I think is important is to understand each day we can take the time. Take a moment. Where's my mind? Where's my mindset? It's like the Pixies song, Where is my mind? Ask yourself that on a regular basis, and you will find yourself self-correcting. Now, don't get looped into this myopic, kind of obsessive, thinking about your mindset all the time. Once you set it and forget it. It's very easy to get a little bit obsessive about our mindset. It is important. It is that important. But by the same token, once you have it, Once you have a good growth mindset or a positive mindset, move forward, act on it. When you have the instinct to do something, go do it. Don't worry about your mindset. So there's a balance between kind of the internal work and then obviously the work we put out to the world that we need to. Because having a great mindset should lead to activity. If it's not, then take a look at what that is. Why is it so hard for you to set it and forget it? To develop a self-conscious, aware, and purposeful growth mindset that allows you to free up your mind. That's the paradox of a great mindset. You have to be aware of it. You have to put time into developing it. Maybe even getting rid of some limiting beliefs that are keeping it where it is and helping you to get a higher level mindset. But once you do that, it should free you to not worry about your mindset. Your mindset works on its own, because if it doesn't, then it's not the correct one. And I know this is getting deeper into the psychology of a growth mindset. And Carol Dweck's fantastic book, Mindset, is a great place to start if you want more information about this. But in its essence, it's the foundation, it's the framework you can build from, and it is also an empowering and freeing and liberating thing to have, is this wonderful growth mindset built purposefully and consciously by us. So if you haven't done that, if you haven't done some of that work, I encourage you highly to begin to inspect where your mind is at different points in time, especially if you're struggling, if you're challenged, or if you're facing something you're not sure about. Because that mindset is something you do have control over and you can have certainty over. So start there, and everything else can flow from that. Thanks for joining me for Another Cup, our mindset as a basis for success.